Hey, everybody. We are back with the Chill Tech Podcast, episode 38.
Ooh.
I was not here last time. I would say I was sick, but I wasn't. I was just tired. So I ditched. These guys held it down. Tonight, Giovanni's not with us. So Garnie's filling in for him this time as well. So how's it going, Garnie?
Good. How you doing, Christian?
I am awake at the moment. May
Need
not
more
be a couple
coffee.
more hours, but I'm doing all right.
Drink more coffee.
And Keyan's also here. What's going on, Keyan?
Not much, man. Chilling. I'm still unpacking from like 2 weeks ago. I did get the what is this? S9 Plus.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
all right.
Fancy.
Congrats, man.
Camera stuff with that.
And I see you also fixed your mood lighting, so that's what's up. All right.
Thanks to flashlight on Android.
I like that. Flashlight on Android. Oh,
That
that's
works.
good.
That works. Hey, way to use the tools, right?
Exactly.
Use what you got. So I originally had an icebreaker question. I was going to ask you guys, what's your most embarrassing hobby? But I figured, you know what? Let's back it off a little bit, and I'll just ask you. You know, what's something you do when you're not using, say, tech or watching movies or something along those lines? Like, what's something else you do besides tech, Garnie?
Oh wow. Let's see, far.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, it's like besides family life, you know, and you know things like that. All right, let me narrow it down. I spend a lot of time, you know, helping out the community. But when I look for stuff, that's cool things, I'll lock myself in the room and do Black Desert Online. That's I'm sorry, I'll play Black Desert. I mean, if no one else is calling me, if I don't have to be anywhere, I'll shut the door. And here I am, Black Desert.
Now look, Garnie, you're kind of cheating because I said no tech.
Oh, I know,
No
but
tech.
I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I got to do it, man.
So basically, you're an addict. Okay, cool. No problem.
Exactly.
Understood. Ken, how about you? Do you do anything besides text?
No, when I'm not working, I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm writing articles. Like I'm on my computer. I am never without tech.
All right. So we got a whole crew of addicts. Well, I'll put it this way. If I could, here's my problem. I'm antisocial. But if I wasn't, I'd play a heck of a lot of board games. I love board games. I love card games. I love like tabletop stuff.
The important question is, what's your favorite board game? And there's only one answer to this.
I'm gonna have to say Risk. It's actually Risk.
Oh, that's the wrong answer.
Not Monopoly. Although I do enjoy Pandemic as well. So
You need Monopoly is the best board game ever.
no, Risk or Pandemic is also fun.
Risk is a good board game, but it's not Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly. I can play it, but I much prefer something with a little more strategy. So I like Risk.
What more strategy do you need? Yes, sir.
Conquering the world.
I won't play
Obviously.
conversation with Monopoly, but
Obviously.
just let everybody know that Monopoly is the best board game ever created.
Yeah, Monopoly, the best game, but the worst of games because it breaks families apart over
It
the
really
holidays.
That's the best part about Monopoly.
Yeah, I mean, my mom doesn't watch, so I'll go and talk about her. But like, she makes us upset because at a point, she'll just kind of start doing just like random stuff. Like she doesn't quit playing, but she'll just trade stuff that doesn't make any sense with somebody else and ruin everyone else's strategy, right? Like, I'm like, Mom, you can't sell that to him for like $100. She's like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, well, you're messing me up.
You giving up?
It's like, hey, Mom,
Same.
can I buy St. James from you for $100?
It's like, well, sure.
But she'll sell it to your sister for $100.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes, it's just random. And I'm like, you're ruining everything. You're ruining everything, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. No, that's good. Lively. That's awesome.
Well, good to know. Well, look, next time I see you guys, we'll have to play Monopoly, I guess, since you guys don't want to play Risk. I happen to have 3 different versions of Risk that I've never actually played with anyone. So I have a Metal Gear Solid version, I have a Mass Effect version, and then I have like the standard one. So
Nice.
look, they were on sale at Barnes and Noble. What was I supposed to do? Leave them there?
You know what? Hey, if as long as it's something else you could do, that's awesome, man.
Right.
That's
But
good.
like I said, I tend to stick to electronics because I can play with people, but they don't have to actually be like at my house. Right. So that's the problem. Gathering up 4 or 5 adults and playing a board game is hard to do in person.
Have you jumped on board with a Fortnite yet, or?
I downloaded Fortnite, but I haven't jumped in just yet.
Yeah,
So,
I've been tempted to do that, but I'm still, that besides Black Desert, you got World of Tanks, World of Warships, those kind of things. But yeah, my son's really gotten back into D&D. So I've
oh
been
really?
kind of, it's like, wow, D&D. You mean to tell me I can roll dice again? That's
Like actual D&D or like
actual D&D. So you actually take the 20-side die and start rolling for characters and things like that.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, at work, our CIO, his son, he said plays D&D. His son's like 11. So he'll be the dungeon master, and his son will have like 5 or 6 friends over, and they'll all go through some adventure like all day on a Sunday. I'm like, this still happens? Like people really do this still? I thought it was over.
People definitely do that.
It's pretty cool. I think it's really cool because now I'm started thinking back. Okay, back in my days in high school and college, playing D&D, that was pretty cool stuff. But the MMO games are actually pretty cool. But sitting down with family or close friends doing that stuff, that's neat.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, now I know Monopoly next time, or maybe we'll play Monopoly online sometime or something. Why not?
You can't beat the board game.
Oh yeah, and we'll stream that, right? We'll stream
yes. Stream all the table flips.
Keyboards in the air.
Bankrupt.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, first topic up for the night is I thought it'd be interesting to kind of discuss. There's been a lot of talk about fake news, since this new presidency, and just overall, a lot of fake news talk. And on top of that, now YouTube has decided to basically use Wikipedia to help combat fake news in the form of conspiracy theory videos. Is what they're trying to do.
Okay. Using Wikipedia.
Right. Now here's what I did. I went to Wikipedia and I looked up what is fake news on Wikipedia. Wikipedia says a type of yellow journalism or propaganda that consists of deliberate misinformation or hoaxes spread via traditional print and broadcast news media or online social media. So that's what we're saying fake news is. Something that's intentionally giving some kind of misinformation or some kind of a hoax, as we've all seen, who knows how many of these different videos and other random articles that we see.
What
was that?
They have whole websites dedicated to like fake news and fake celebrity deaths and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's it escapes me. Snopes is their whole thing is debunking like fake news and urban myths and all this other kind of crazy stuff. So first question is, do we think Wikipedia is a good solution for fake news?
It's a good start. It's definitely a good start, but it's not the final solution. But I'll still believe a lot of stuff on Wikipedia, even though you can change information yourself. A lot of it's not like everybody's just going over there and saying, "Oh my God, Obama's 2 years old." Like, not everybody's doing that. For a lot of people, I still believe.
Well, I mean, the key thing is it's a good thing if you're using it to help you investigate more, but it shouldn't be your sole source, right? Because we've seen some mistakes out there. Maybe we should roll this back and ask yourself, how much critical thinking are we doing to any of this? I mean, if you're going to watch Alex Jones, the right-wing, crazy conspiracy theorist, every event has a conspiracy theory behind it. And I have to ask, are you really listening to that? And if you are, do we have a different problem? But if you're publicizing some stuff, what happened to the world of critical thinking? Research is Wikipedia is a good start, Keyan. That's correct, but it shouldn't be your only source, right? You should be looking at 2 or 3 levels deep and saying, if I don't know the topic and it's something that interests me, reading one article or one page shouldn't be enough. There should be more stuff to it. And go find other news articles, go find other links. But I like Wikipedia. I'll use your Wikipedia. It's like, hey, what is? And oh, cool. It gets me started. And if I'm interested, I'll go follow other breadcrumb trails, but I don't use it as my sole source.
I mean, what's nice is that Wikipedia, a good wiki on Wikipedia, has a lot of good sources. So Wikipedia should be kind of your starting Well, then check those references down below, right? 'Cause I'm looking at this one, this fake news article on Wikipedia. This has 260 references below that people have tagged as far as other articles that are referenced in that article about fake news, right? So
different countries, different examples from all the different countries.
You know, so it's like you have a place to start, but that's not the end necessarily. You know, check some of the sources. What are those sources? Are those reliable? You know, like I was talking to Garnie earlier. I think back to, you know, being in school, and I assume they still do this, but, you know, doing a research paper, you know, you had to have like a certain level of references in your paper, right? Like it's like a journal article, or like, you know, some kind of other like certain levels of magazines, not just any magazine, right? Like it's like certain things you could use as a reference, otherwise not valid, right? And so how do we, in this age of all this information, how do we, one, do we even feel like wading through, or would we rather just believe what we agree with already?
I believe a lot of, well, okay, I'm not gonna say I believe a lot of stuff. I find sources that I've found, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago to be credible, and I will generally believe what they say without looking too deep into it. So I have, when it comes to like technology stuff, I have, let's say, 5 websites that I look at daily, and I pretty much take whatever they say as fact. You know, I don't look too deep in this. You know, I don't cross check and all that stuff. But that's just because I, you know, as we all are good with technology. We all know technology, and that's our our background. So I can read a lot and, you know what's fact versus what's fiction without having to worry about it. But like I wouldn't do that with sports or like politics and stuff. I couldn't do that. I couldn't just go to like CNN or Fox and just take what they say as fact, just because that's not my, that's not my background. That's not my thing. But
no,
with tech, I have my stuff.
No, and see that's the point of critical thinking, right? It's the being able to evaluate, your confidence level and stuff. Like I said, with this huge story, right, on fake news, the whole thing around it is, okay, what is a politician saying versus what is the news saying, and what do you, and Christian, you bring up a very good point. What are your values? Yes, will you lean toward more to what attracts you to your values? Most likely, but at the same time, you should look at it and say, well, if this is a very controversial thing, shouldn't you take the time to see the other side? At least breach that. If someone is coming at you against your values, and you're like, I really need to look into this. Question yourself, question others, and it's okay. But I applaud the fact that if YouTube is going out there and saying that there are sites that they're going to tag and they're going to put informational links off to the side, great. I mean, remember, we're all using YouTube as a service, right? And so they're providing a service and value add. So it's up to you if you're going to click on those links to go validate information. I think it's a good thing. But at the same time, if they're just targeting just right-wing conspiracy theorists, is that right? Or are they doing it for the leftists? Are they doing it for all news information or information types? Is this a trend that that's the question I have. Who are they targeting? Who's going to be focused on?
It's going to be difficult for them to even do this, right? Like how, there's how many hours of content on YouTube uploaded every day, right? So one, how do they determine which ones are conspiracy theories versus actual news? Someone has determined that, right? And then they go find a Wikipedia article that matches that and puts it up there for people to actually research. The problem is most people just don't care. I find even myself just kind of ignoring articles that sound like something that I don't agree with. I'm like, that sounds like crazy, so forget it. Obviously, that's worthless. This sounds like what I agree with. So,
what genre of article are you talking about?
I'm talking about like political stuff. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but say something discussing, gun control, right? Something that I agree with sounds more credible than something I disagree with automatically, right? So it's difficult to read something I disagree with as valid factual information, right? Or as a valid opinion, even when I have a very emotional connection to the opposite view, right? Now, a question for you guys, is there more responsibility for something you read personally versus something you say share on your social media? Do you take the extra step if you're going to share it, or do you use the kind of same gauge?
You stepped in the mud on that one, buddy. Anyone who has a Facebook account knows, how many people actually research. They'll see something online and, there goes the flying keyboards, right? People are just pounding away. A few years ago, I would be very passionate about something, and you're right. I'll lean toward a certain direction that I find my values. But now I've cut back, and I'll tell you guys this: your Facebook page leaves a legacy. People get to scroll back. People that you want to reconnect with. People that you've just met. Is this something you want them to see? Now, if you're okay being very passionate and just firing off responses and going forth, and this is what I tell my kids, if there's something that you're very passionate about and you're confident in your values and you're okay with other people knowing that you stand in this particular area, go for it. I mean, there should be no reasons why. But just flying off the handle for me. I mean, these, again, fake news, whatever topic, whatever the mass media is putting out there, whatever's they're not putting out there. I look at it and say, how many times have we written that email and deleted it because we read it 4 or 5 times?
Yeah.
I mean, or we regret sending that email. Well, that should be the same type of way we should look at our Facebook, but at least for me, this is the face of me. So what do you see that you'll know where I stand, but if you know me, but I'm not going to sit there and voluntarily give you a bunch of stuff that just
right.
Fake news.
What's funny is I find that even happening at my job, right? Like, I know certain topics are controversial, right? I can't look at someone and automatically know where they stand on that topic. Therefore, I simply don't discuss it, right? It's just easier that way.
I do the same thing, but I just do that pretty much generally in life, unless it's somebody that, I care to have an in-depth conversation with. It's not that many people.
Right.
So stuff like politics and religion and stuff, I just generally don't talk about that to anybody unless like it's a close friend. But I was going to say regarding Garnie, the thing about me, because I don't use my Facebook for anything but reposting things that I've put on Instagram. So I don't have to really worry about necessarily like my legacy. I mainly use Twitter. And the good thing about Twitter is everybody takes Twitter as kind of like a joke. So I can say whatever. And I've said things that I'm just like, oh, I would never really say that in person. But I like Twitter that gave me that culture to say whatever. So I don't share the same things that you guys say because I don't share a lot of news. But when I do, it's like tech or it's on Twitter so I can say whatever.
I very rarely share anything controversial just because I don't feel like getting the back and forth, right? Like that, just for me, like if I feel like there's going to be a question about it, I'm like, well, then why am I really posting it, right? Like, unless I'm really passionate about it, like for real, I just kind of leave it alone most of the time. Every now and then I'll go past that. But then again, I think about it. Did I really research that article that I reposted? No. I agreed with it, and I mostly trust the source, so I reposted it.
All right. Well, let me add this. All right. We had the passing of Stephen Hawking just recently. Rest in peace, my friend. He's inspired a lot of us. But one of the things he did say is that some of the greatest achievements from humanity in general is because we collaborated. It's because we were talking. It's because we kept moving forward because we are talking. Let me bring up something that if you're getting information, let's say again, going back to YouTube posting information, who they're targeting, who are they posting, and that's going to be a question of how far along this is going to go. Will it be successful? I think any information is good information, good or bad. It's just like it gives you the availability but Christian, you mentioned that you don't talk about it. Keyan, you talk about, I'm not going to push that agenda and things. Are we becoming more apathetic because we are, number one, scared of sharing that kind of information? Number two, that we just don't want to deal with the ridicule? or number three, we are truly trying to be sensitive to others. And, I think between just knowing you guys for a short time, I think it's all three. Not saying that you're afraid. It's just like, this is really going to be a waste of my time. Right.
I thought about that with a lot, like in my life, like, and it's more of like, for me, I think it's more of like a competition thing. Like I'll keep a lot of like, whether it's gaming or technology or photos or whatever, I keep a lot of stuff just because I want to be above people in a sense. But I have been getting better with sharing information because I don't necessarily like Garnie. If I were to share like a video editing secret or something, I don't necessarily want you to fail or anything. I want you to be great, but I also want me to be better than you if it's something I care about. Video editing, obviously, no, I don't really care about that. But if I did, like, I would share some information, but I'd still want to keep a lot to myself just because I want to be up here. And I still want to see you grow, but not be at my level.
No, see, that's being sensitive to yourself. No, you're being sensitive to others, but at the same time, you're looking at yourself. Not saying you're self-serving. I'm just saying, look, if it's a competitive edge where where you're not going to give away your grandma's favorite, beans recipe. There's no way. I mean, that stays in the family, and and then look, if you got a family restaurant, no way you're going to give that away. But if it's something that, like I said, let's take a topic of today, news of the, an item of the day, a topic of the day, being political, being social, being economic, whatever, or even health. Is there something? Are we really holding back politically? I'm saying, is it a waste of my time and others? I think it's a waste of my time. But if it's something that's factual, something that could relate to others, I think other people will enjoy. I'll share it.
Do you feel equally with that, with things that you feel strongly in versus things that you don't feel strongly in? Well, things you don't feel strongly, I feel like, why even talk about it? But do you feel the same way if it's something that you really, really believe strongly in?
Well, it's the same way. Like, for example, people have your different varying views on faith, different varying views on political, different varying views of values, right? And so when there's something that's really tough, like for example, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you're going to see that I really love my family and I love to share my family with my friends. But when it comes to political or things like that, I'm not going to get out there and try to raise a stink, right? If something's coming up, and in the past, like I said, I would. And a lot of my friends who may be watching this and know me, a few years ago, oh yeah, I mean, just type something that they know is against my grain, and I'll be happy to argue with you all day long. But I find out there's other stuff that's more important. Not that I'm not saying I'm apathetic. I'm just saying I just don't. I think there's other things that I should be doing, other areas I should be concentrating on. Why am I serving this versus that I could be doing other things? I could be spending my energy elsewhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very unlikely that we're going to convince anyone. Which is why I think about work. Like again, I mentioned I don't talk about certain things at work just because if we disagree, do we really have time to sit down and really talk through the back and forth and come to some kind of understanding? No, we have work to do. So in an abbreviated amount of time, we can't really touch the topic. So no point in just bringing it up. For instance, like I have people at work that will very often bring up, they'll talk to me, and I think for some reason they assume I agree because they talk to me in that way, right? Like, oh, can you believe, blah blah blah, isn't Trump so great, or something like that, right? One, you could assume I don't agree. That's probably the safer bet. But you want to assume I agree? Fine. But now I'm in a position where either I kind of say ha 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 and move on, or I say, wait, stop, I disagree, and then let's now have some kind of back and forth conversation, right? So I feel like I want to put someone else in that position of having to either acquiesce and not say their opinion, or now we have to have this long conversation when really it's just kind of a, hey, good morning, how's it going? Right.
Let me. Like the negatives outweigh the positives that you could potentially have. The potential negatives outweigh the potential positives that you could have.
Exactly.
Why you don't bring it up?
Well, so that brings us right, Keyan, that brings us right back to the Wikipedia, right? What's the amount of positive that could be associated with it? Like, for example, we go back to the right wing, conspiracy theorists, and there's listings of links in Wikipedia that are, who's going to decide which links? Because how many articles are out there? How do you know that it's going to provide you additional or greater insight versus just be totally against? Christian, you bring up a very good point. What's the varying degrees? Number one, what's YouTube going to do for the different? Are they going to do just the right? Are they going to do just the left? Are they going to do both? Or how about everyone in between? Just because, Christian, one day you decide you're going to do something and throw it online. Are they going to cover your page with links? Who decides right or wrong? Keyan, right? How do you decide that content's right or wrong? From that. Now, granted, Wikipedia is great reference material. I think it's a great place to start, but it should not be the end. But who's to say that we'll take a controversial topic and throw out an anti or an opposite stance as a link? Well, is that right? Shouldn't you be posting all the links associated to that topic?
Yeah, the difficulty, and I guess to help us kind of wrap it up, is, at the end of the day, is putting that link there going to help someone that may have been unwittingly deceived by that video? So someone watching a conspiracy video that didn't already agree that having factual information would change their mind. What percentage of people do you think that really is? That are already viewing it and say, oh, Wikipedia, oh, this video is wrong. We actually did go to the moon.
Or is this a YouTube play? Here it is. Is this a YouTube play to barter with the advertising dollars? Say, hey, we're putting in another checkpoint. We're putting in another layer. We're putting in another. So that way, if someone comes up with a controversial topic that we got a hotkey on or a hashtag on, we're going to hit it and we're going to throw links out there. See, Coca-Cola, you don't have to pull all your funding from us. See, Procter & Gamble, you could still advertise with us. So again, if you look at the money factor, again, that's a conspiracy item. Are they doing this just for ad dollars?
They're going to Wikipedia this video now, this podcast.
Well, I mean, think about it. YouTube's a business, so could it be? Nobody does it for free. So why are they doing this? Well, they want advertising dollars, so follow the money.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my point. So
Keyan, tell me this: do you think we can fix the fake news problem?
No, people make too much money and attention off of it. So no, we're not gonna. I feel like fake news is gonna be a thing. It is what it is. Some people let you know, like, hey, my whole life is, I forgot the word, but like a mockery. Like, I do this for a living. Like, I say wrong things because people laugh at it and people, give me paid views and then I get money. And you go there and it's like the sun. Like, you go there and you're not reading real shit. Real stuff. So,
right.
And other people, though, will put stuff out there without researching, and they're doing it by accident. And then there's, of course, the last group who puts stuff out there knowing that it's wrong. So, I don't think it's going anywhere because some people are just lazy and some people don't care enough to do it. And then some people are doing it on purpose. So I don't think it's going anywhere now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough going forward to help people that don't care to research somehow care enough to try to validate something and not spread it.
Real fight right there.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess we'll see. We'll see how this YouTube using Wikipedia thing works. Maybe it'll help. Maybe a few people that look at some Mars landing is fake video and see Wikipedia says no, we actually did go to not Mars landing, the moon landing. We didn't go to Mars. Moon landing. I'm already fake news already. See,
I know. I was about to say, did the Roadster already make it to Mars?
Do you see the problem? Anyway. I think we've put that to bed, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on this, and maybe in the future we can have something help this whole situation. So
we'll see. All
right, folks. So I grabbed some interesting news articles that I thought, here come the fire trucks.
They're coming after you, dude.
I was telling Garnie, I live near a firehouse, and I work near two different ones that are on either side of where I work. So I literally am at all times hearing fire sirens. So it's great being in the city.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Lovely,
Just as long as no doors are being knocked down and guys in dark uniforms dragging you out. We're all
that
good,
shouldn't
right?
happen. If it does, I don't know. Oh well.
Fake news.
It's been nice. It's been real. All right, so I grabbed some kind of news articles that I figured might be kind of interesting. We're not gonna get through all of them, but we'll pick a few and kind of so we think. The first I thought was interesting was, I'm not sure if you guys heard, but Netflix had kind of had a plan to essentially gamify the children's profile on Netflix, right? So what they were going to do was, so a kid has their own kid's profile, right? And they would earn badges based off of their viewing. Now, you can see how this could be a serious problem, right? Like, hey, you've watched 5 hours of SpongeBob. Here's a badge. All of a sudden we got kids binge watching shows to earn badges. Now, I personally think that's probably not the most ethical thing to do for Netflix. What do you guys think?
Are loot boxes engaged?
Not yet.
Just kidding.
As not a father, I don't see it as a big deal. Especially with kids nowadays. It's like, if you're just getting a badge on Netflix that you can only see on Netflix, I don't see that as a huge deal, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not in that role.
Well, question, what are the badges for? Why?
There's nothing.
Is there a prize at the end? Is there?
No, I mean, it's like your gamer score on Xbox Live or whatever. Like, it doesn't earn you something, but
in real life, but it's still some people care. Like,
psychologically,
right. on PlayStation, but even though they don't mean anything, they'll never get me anything. I do care.
Like, I finished several games on Xbox and got 100% simply because it's an achievement. Like, I was done playing the game, I was bored. I played extra, say 10 hours, simply because I want to get X achievement. So imagine that with kids earning patches on Netflix.
The only reason I say I don't think it's going to be a big deal is because you don't do anything for it. Like, for games, you have to play the game. You have to go through the grueling process of doing whatever task to get that score, the trophy or medal, whatever. But for Netflix, it's just watching TV. Like, that's nothing. You don't have to do anything. You literally just leave Netflix on. Like, so
no kid's doing that. You think a 10-year-old is going to leave it on and go away and come back to earn the badge? No. I've been watching that 10 hours.
Where you leave the TV on and the kid's not even watching, just in case the kid comes back and just like, hey, no, don't even look at me. Look there. Just,
well, question. What? So they canceled it, right? So
they definitely did.
All right. So did they come back with any findings on why they canceled it, or they just killed it just for the sake of killing it?
Cancel what?
They said, we've concluded the test for patches. We've concluded the test for patches and have decided not to move forward with the feature for kids. We test lots of things at Netflix in order to learn what works well and what doesn't work well for our members.
Didn't they just start this like a week ago? Like, how?
Yeah, they just announced it, but I'm sure they got a lot of pushback. Because when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. This seems like
I feel like the pushback they got was why. Like, the question why. Not like, oh, this is horrible, but it was just like, why? That's the only pushback I would give when I saw that story. I was just like, what are you doing it for? Like, I don't get it. But
yeah, I have to assume that they got major pushback because just imagine once you add achievements earned by watching hours on Netflix, just imagine how many more hours of Netflix would be watched by these children, right? And so if they were to decide to not do it after they said they were going to do it.
The weird thing is, for me, is I don't see how this helps Netflix at all. Like, it's not like you're getting ad plays, so you're getting money for watching more hours. You literally pay a set price, and then you watch as many hours in that month. So all they're doing is increasing load on their servers for nothing.
True.
So, from a business standpoint, I don't see the point in doing it.
Yeah, I can only figure that they would have metrics to show, potential
Yeah. Oh, I guess R&D would be like the only.
Yeah,
only.
like as they're acquiring assets and offering a price,
Well, they
we've
already
got.
mine that data anyway, right?
Oh yeah,
They already mine it. So it's the.
But you
I'm
just need more.
I'm looking at the Verge article, and I see the tweet that one mother posted. She's saying that the kids came and say, "Hey, mom, we get a prize for watching the series," and to me as a parent, I'm thinking, if I had to roll back the clock and my kids are, upper elementary school, middle school, would I want them to be incentivized in any way to watch, to binge watch?
right.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the initial
Right.
initial shock value. And I can understand Netflix going, we didn't think this through all the way. If it was for mining, Netflix is a pretty technological company. They're going to be able to pick up that stuff anyway to find out how much time. Were they just using it? And again, follow the money. Were they using it for specific shows to draw a younger audience to getting them into the habits of, hey, you need to be watching Netflix original shows versus other stuff from, whatever company, because think about it. If you're going to get a badge on Netflix shows versus badges on Disney shows and no badges on Disney shows, what do you think an 11-year-old is going to do? I'm going to watch Netflix shows, not the Disney show.
Yeah, I want the badge.
I want the badge. So it's kind of interesting.
I might have just been a weird kid because telling me you're going to give me a badge for watching TV is not going to influence me watching TV at all. So I might have just been a weird kid.
Right. Well, I guess put it this way, like if you have a show you can earn a badge for, or say even a genre, or a genre that you wouldn't earn a badge for, and you are already like at a tie. Like say you're sitting here, you're like, there's 1,000 shows, I don't know what to watch. But this one, I earn a badge if I watch, 2 hours tonight. Okay.
That does nothing for me. Like I said, I'm weird. I don't like earning useless stuff. So
wait. Hold on. I gotta write that down. He's weird.
Type of guy. So
I'm gonna write that down, man. He said
exactly.
If I earn something, I want to earn it. I don't want to just get it. That's basically what I'm saying.
No, that's a good point. But I mean, there's a whole other demographic that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, cool. Well, what's next?
Yeah, man. So how about this? So this made me sad. So we know that last fall, September, Toys R Us went into bankruptcy, which didn't mean they were over. It just meant they were trying to restructure, work some deals out with their debts, maybe, cut some costs and come back strong and, keep going forward. Looks like that's not the case. Toys R Us is going to be shutting down and either trying to sell off some assets in stores or just simply liquidate. Now, when I saw this, I was sad for 1 minute. And then I was very, very excited because I said, the minute I hear about my local Toys R Us liquidating,
sale time,
I'm going over there immediately. I'm skipping work. I'm going straight to the electronics and Lego section and getting everything I can with the money I have and going straight to eBay. Am I the only one?
I don't know about eBay, but they did that with Kmart. When Kmart was liquidating, they would literally, I went in there and they said, fill up the buggy, we'll give you a price. I was like, wait.
You'll be walking down the aisle with your arm in the shelf and just like
expensive stuff. You can get games and you only pay like $100 and you have like $12,000 worth of games because you filled up the buggy and they gave you a price.
Look, that's what I'm trying to get down with at Toys R Us. So I got at work we already said, look, when we hear it, we're getting in the car and we're going up there together and we're just gonna fill up the carts and get it done because that could be huge. From a tech perspective, I mean, they've got game systems, all kind of stuff in there. I mean, Switch never goes on sale, and I want one. I want one badly.
But you know what's going to happen.
I know.
Unless you're like camping there 3 days before the announcement, there's going to be a line. Their moms and dads are going to be sleeping in the minivan in the parking lot, holding that spot. And the moment that door is open, man, they're going to head straight for the Switch or whatever it is, and they're going to do the old snow plow off the shelf. The Lego section,
right?
Or whatever it is, right? And the girls will go off to the little princess sections and get every dressed and and things like. It's sad that an iconic U.S. store, a retail brick and mortar store, is going away. And is this the inevitability? We shouldn't be surprised, right? Keyan, you said, look at Kmart. You know, when that Sears Kmart merger happened, and they were liquidating Kmart's all over the place. You know, is this the, you know, we've seen this. We know what the pattern is. We're going to see more and more major brick and mortar stores go out. I mean, Toys R Us was a great place to be, but not during the holiday season.
Right. And they essentially blamed the consumers. They said, hey, it's your fault for not supporting us during the holiday season. That's why we got to close. Yeah. I'm like, look, here's the thing. Like, for me, I'm going to miss Toys. I rarely went to Toys R Us, right? But when I went, it was a fun experience to be in, like, a place with that many toys, action figures, video games, all the stuff. Like, it was just fun to be in there. And I will miss that kind of experience because there's no other place really like that anymore. Like, once Toys R Us is gone, like, I'm not going to what's the place in New York? There's the famous toy store.
Schwartz?
Yeah, F.A. Schwartz, right? Yeah. You know, like beyond, and that's not even really.
That's not a nationwide thing, though.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, I'm not going to go up there for that. You know what I mean? So,
well, it's only open because it's a tourist area.
Exactly.
That's the only thing, and because you remember it went through bankruptcy and restructuring, and now it's open under a different ownership, and it's only meant for tourists, right? I mean, a few years ago we went to New York City and we visited F.A. Schwartz. I'm looking at the prices, going, nope.
Right? That's the problem.
I'll take a picture next to the big giant Nutcracker, but that's about it, or Toy Soldier, and that's about it. Yeah, blaming the consumer, I don't buy it.
I mean, do you think this is going to be more and more? I think we talked about this, but more and more inevitable just because Amazon's getting big and you can buy a lot of stuff online nowadays.
Well, who's going to want to, Keyan? Who's going to want to stand in line and fight the crowds at Toys R Us during?
Well, not even just holidays. Talking about, because you have to do more than just holidays. This is year round.
But go to the store and pay more, right? Because that's the other thing, is that places like Toys R Us, like, most things in there are like retail price. Like, it's like the actual manufacturer standard retail price for whatever it is, right? Like, when I used to pay, like, okay, DVD is $20 or like $35, whatever the real $35, stuff, like you go in there and stuff is like the regular price. Like, I'm used to Target or Walmart or Amazon, where it's like not the regular price, not the manufacturer standard retail price, right?
So then also compared to that, in my viewing, and again, I don't have like kids like you guys did. So in my viewing, I don't see a lot of kids just playing with toys. Like, I know Toys R Us has games and other stuff, but their main thing are like toys and outdoor toys, like bikes and stuff, as far as I know. So I don't see, I don't see them needing to be around.
Well, I'll give you.
That's the other problem, right?
The horror stories, like, who's going to drag their kid through Toys R Us, even on non-holiday shopping days? I mean, you're stopping every 10 feet going, Mommy, Daddy, I want this. Mommy, Daddy, I want this. I'm like,
Target's bad enough. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, when we were kids, the first thing we do, go to a store, the first place I'm heading toward, toy section.
Exactly.
Mom, Dad, you know where I'm going, toy section. And, it's sad. It really is, because, Jeffrey, the giraffe?
Either Jeffrey or Joffrey. I think it's Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Joffrey's King of Thrones.
Right.
Joffrey, yeah. Don't get those two confused. Wouldn't it be hilarious to see a giraffe on the throne? Anyway, but no, it's a sad thing. It really is an iconic, but it's the sign of the times. So we're moving forward.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm trying to save up some money right now. So I'm like, look, if I get a chance to get up there, I want to get in there, see something I really want to get. I don't have the money for it. So I'm trying to stash some stuff away so I can get up there and actually make use of this very, very sad situation. That's the plan.
All right, folks. On my PlayStation, I've never asked for any other toy, and I used to be heavy with action figures.
That's what happens. Like, the kids, like, even my son, like, I'm like, hey, you have toys, and then you have your tablet. And then I said, okay, all right, tablet time is done. He's like, well, what do I do? I'm like, play with the toys. Like, draw something. Do something else. And they're like,
you took away my toy. My toy was
right. Like, I don't, what do I do in the world? Anything other than this? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, folks. Well, how about this? Google has a couple of things I thought were interesting this week. One being the tech behind the Google Pixel 2 portrait mode. The code for that is now going to be open source. Did you guys see this?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I heard that it was going to come out, but I didn't realize it would come out this soon. Because on a lot of developers have ported that code to other devices, like the OnePlus line and the Nexus 6, 6P. So Google has officially ported it out, huh?
Yeah, the code opened up the source code.
Open source.
Yes, Deep Lab V3 Plus, AI-based image segmentation technology.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
So why would they do this? What do you guys think?
To get it on more phones. I mean, not a simple answer, but like you want people using your stuff. The Galaxy S9 camera, which I do have, would be so much better with its blur effect if it did the same thing that Google does. And everybody knows that because that's why people ported over the Google camera. So it's just stop porting these things over and let's just use officialness so it works better and people can actually implement it and work with it.
Right.
Yeah, so do you imagine maybe this will creep into, say, like the Facebook app for taking pictures or the Instagram app? You know, they'll natively have like the portrait mode features in Instagram, for example.
Well, Instagram is already getting some features. I don't know if I see that part creeping over because they're not like native camera apps. They're social media first. That's just my guess.
What do you think, Garnie?
Well, it's cool that Google's releasing the code and things like that, so others can leverage it. But is it going to just be portrait mode? There's other stuff that's involved with this, right? Because it's AI, so it's got to be some kind of logic in there that someone else can use. Think of it, portrait mode. Focusing close to blur the background. Well, before you could do that, you got to know what your object is. So could that technology be leveraged by other areas, not just portrait mode, but the scanning mode, the depth mode? Could that be used by other folks? I think the making it open source is helping provide the developer community a way to triangulate objects in the field of view, more than just portrait mode. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into the other article that I saw, which is about Google now. Basically, they're kind of having their Maps API essentially kind of be available to other apps now. So the next generation of Pokemon Go type of Ingress type apps would have native use of the Google Maps API. Now,
would that include the augmented reality type scenarios, like where you can use what is it called when you're actually not just looking from a satellite but you're on the ground, and that kind of imagery? Is that where they're opening that up to?
I wonder, because they already have the AR core, right? So if you match the AR core with the Maps API, right? Like, so it's one thing to be able to visually represent the AR image in space, but then you can tie that into the actual location data and mapping data for that object, right? So, who knows how that might interact with other potential gaming apps. Like, I think about the upcoming Jurassic Park game. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but they have an upcoming AR kind of a game where you kind of capture dinosaurs. Maybe they implement that with that game, where the item is actually, via the Maps API at an actual physical location, using Google's technology. Again, it's another way that they're kind of trying to, I don't infiltrate into third-party apps, but really kind of be the base, the core, the provider of these APIs. Interesting strategy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking through this, because if you've got 3D image through Google Maps, and of course Google's going to have a lot of that information. You tie that in with triangulation technology. Wouldn't it be kind of neat if you're a block away and you're playing, let's say, Pokemon Go, and you've got your avatar next to you? Wouldn't it be neat to be able to see it, a small Pikachu, get larger as you're walking toward me, and things like that. I mean, the world of AR is really interesting, because think of all the new players that are coming on. Think about, Bose is coming out with some stuff. There's a whole bunch of other companies coming out with new AR glasses now. Google Glasses came out how many years ago? And now there's a whole bunch of other companies coming out with virtual or augmented reality glasses. Who is it? Sony, who just released a $2,000 enterprise type of camera glass system that has a little box that you hook onto your belt or stick in your pocket, and it has a little screen, and basically it augments reality in front of you, and it's really meant for, let's say, warehouses or manufacturing or field use type things. But who was it that just popped out? Was it Bose that popped out an AR glass that just got released recently? It was like, I thought it was Bose, but somebody's coming. But using that kind of technology when you're walking around, imagine taking the Snapchat glasses, or even any type of augmented reality glasses, and be able to say, oh, look, coupon for this store, or or you start seeing things coming towards you as in real time from a dimensional aspect. It's pretty wild. I mean, if you put a game behind that, what about laser tagging on the streets?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just looking at this article. Oh, I lost it now. I got too many articles open. This was regarding the Google Maps API, but they actually are going to have a component that is a Unity engine API that can work with the Maps API, right? So they're saying, you don't have to learn the Maps API. Use our Unity kind of connection to add the maps into your game. So they're really trying to go for the game developers to really try and, seems like, spur the development of more Pokemon Go type AR location-based gaming.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool if we got into that. But I'm not fully immersed into the AR world and this would be interesting to read and follow up on, because who else is going to be the player? Who else is going to take advantage of this? I mean, if you're starting to look at triangulation software, AR-based stuff, map APIs being opened up, where is all this going? And Google's always been known to be on the forefront of all of these things. But the question is, having it go open source, what are they? My question is, what are they working on now? What's next if they're releasing stuff like this open source?
Yeah, and can anyone else catch up? As far as Maps is concerned.
I mean, I feel like Apple's pretty close. Apple's their closest competitor, obviously, but I feel like, because I don't know how far can you really go with Maps if we're just talking about Maps.
I mean, I guess it gets down to how current is your data, right? Like this new street opens. Are you aware of that or not? Like that's what it boils down to. Like that's why car GPSs are kind of trash now, because they're 2 years old or whatever. Like, you got to keep updating them and get, put the DVD in or however they do it now. I don't even know anymore. But you got to keep updating these things. Whereas, Apple or Google, they try to be more or less current. But, again, whoever is more current, is going to have the better data.
Yeah. Yeah. It just comes to what applications. There's some great engineers over there who's going to figure out something. So somebody's going to use it, and it's going to be. I'm just happy that, because I downloaded the Google, the ported camera that, and put that on my Nexus 6P, and I think it's pretty cool. Runs a little slower than the Google Pixel 2, but that's okay, right? It's getting the code out there so other people can use it. Instead of just being portrait mode or just map APIs, there's some other great stuff that they're working behind the scenes. That's what I'm excited about. what's next.
Yeah. So tell me this, because did either of you guys play Pokemon Go when it first came out, or is it just me? Yeah. So here's my thing. It was lots of fun, and it had me walking a lot. But then I was like, I really just want to play it and not have to walk anywhere, and it kind of got on my nerves, right? Like at a point, I'm like, it's cold, and I'm not trying to walk out anywhere, and I've been busy, and I'm trying to catch up, but I'm like,
for me, Ingress was more important than Pokemon Go.
I never played Ingress.
Ingress is the pre-Pokemon Go, and it was more competitive. That's why for me it was better. Just because it's like, oh man, I'm about to take this. Oh, I see somebody else over there on their phone looking at me all strange. What are they doing? Oh no, let me do. And then it was like an invite system. It was fun. And then Pokemon Go is literally just how many Pokemon can I catch before I run out of Pokeball? And let me run by a gym and try to beat the gym, but gyms are weird, whatever.
Yeah. I do wonder, how long any game of that degree can really hold people, like hold like a large audience. Is it still doing well?
I don't know if it's doing well, but it's still there are people still playing.
Right. Because Pokemon had a huge drop off, and they're still trying to figure out, what to do, how to handle it. I mean, I still have it installed, but I'm like,
the only thing I ever see Pokemon doing is just adding new Pokemon, which I guess is the only thing. I mean, that's what they be doing in their games,
right?
Changing the location and adding Pokemon, but eventually it's gonna die down.
Yeah, I do wonder for the future if people will really embrace like having to leave their home to play a game, like long term, or is that just kind of a fad thing? I don't know.
Well, there's some loyal players. I mean, some members of my family are still playing it. So, my wife always looks for an excuse to, hey, I need to go shopping. Well, why? Gotta go get my daily stop.
Gotta get my Charmeleons,
Yeah, right. What? I haven't installed, ever since I got the Pixel 2, I'm like, I didn't install that one. I left it be.
It was such a battery drain, but it happened. All right. Well, I guess the last piece I wanted to kind of look at was kind of a fun piece. What's interesting is that Microsoft has really been pushing this Sea of Thieves game in many different ways. Keyan put it in the thumbs down. Thumbs down.
My Microsoft banhammer.
Oh, Microsoft. Oh, wow. He's a Microsoft hater. Well, here's the thing. They're hosting Sea of Thieves launch parties at their Microsoft stores. They're going to have a costume contest, prizes, free food, and other stuff at their retail stores next week. Now, I've not really heard of them doing this. I don't pay a lot of attention, but this sounds new to me. Is this new to you guys? This kind of a thing at their stores?
Yeah, to me, it's brand new. I mean, think about it. Launching of a game. Think when Halo came out and all the different versions of Halo, is this really, when Titanfall 2 came out, did you have a launch party like this? It's like, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, is this a new, I've seen some like Jack Frags. I've watched his beta plays, and I think it's kind of neat, but this is kind of interesting. Free food, I'll be there. But
you wear a pirate costume and talking
maybe an eye patch. Okay, that's about it. So, but yeah, this is kind of interesting. Me driving up north of North Austin to go get some free food and maybe get some free goodies. But I don't know. The game that hasn't drawn me in yet, but it's to be determined.
A lot of buzz around it. So, Keyan, you are not a fan of the game, or just Microsoft in general?
Is it Microsoft? I haven't heard of the game, honestly, but is it a Microsoft exclusive?
It's a Microsoft and Windows exclusive, I think. Yes. So the main aspect of it is it's an open world multiplayer game, PvP only, essentially. Basically, you get a crew, you get a pirate ship, you can go out, you can plunder other ships, you can attack them, you can go to islands, you can look for treasure. It's kind of like, living your pirate dream, kind of not quite the battle royale type of game, but still kind of a open world with some homies.
Throw your friends in jail.
What you just said interested me at all. Not one thing you said made me go, "Ooh, no, nothing." I'm not an open world guy. I don't really give a crap about pirates. I don't like Microsoft at all. I don't like.
How do you really feel about that, Keyan?
Right.
That's just.
Well, I mean, there's not one thing in my life that uses Microsoft. Not even their software. Like I just don't.
He's like Office. Tuh.
Yeah.
Give me Google. Give me Word Perfect.
Forget that. So,
oh my God! You said Word Perfect.
I did.
Oh man,
that makes me sound old.
Second option.
I used Word Perfect in high school for word processing class.
Did Novell buy that company? And is Novell still around? You know,
Novell, Corel, all this stuff is like ancient history, I guess.
Wait, I'm gonna use Lotus 123. I'm sorry. I'll get back to you guys.
You gotta use Open Office. Open Office is the best, bro. It's not.
Oh man. Well, I thought the other piece that was interesting about Microsoft's strategy is one, they're really pushing this with this launch party piece. But in addition to that, this is the first title that they're going to have that as soon as it comes out, it'll be available with their Xbox Game Pass program. The Game Pass is basically they have certain games like most publishers have these days where it's a subscription. $10 a month. You have access to X library of games. You can play as much as you want. Usually they're not brand new games. Usually they're a little bit older. You know, they've kind of squeezed all the money they can out of them. So now they say, hey, now it's in this, pass mode. You have access to it. EA has one for Origin. And I think, does Nintendo have one? Kind of a subscription, maybe not.
GameFly, that's the only subscription game I know.
GameFly, yeah. GameFly has that as well. But yeah, I know like Origin has one where it's like maybe the same thing, $10 a month, but you have access to like certain games. Usually FIFA, like 6 to 9 months later, you get access to it. Those kind of things. But with this launch day, if you're subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, you can play this game. So either you can pay $60 to play it, to own it, or you can subscribe to Game Pass and have access to all these other games.
Is Game Pass monthly?
It's monthly. So $10 a month.
That's not bad.
And you play this library of games, and this game happens to be part of that as soon as it comes live. And it sounds like they plan to do this with other games that are exclusive, like Crackdown 3 and some other game as well. Now, do you guys see this being a viable strategy for them to maybe pull some people into their Xbox ecosystem, especially for their exclusives?
Well, Steam's doing pretty good, right? I mean,
that's not a bad idea to me. If I played more than one game, it wouldn't be so bad. But I kind of only play Call of Duty on console. Sometimes I play other games, but I definitely like that strategy.
Yeah. The piece that made me sad was that this game is on Xbox One and Windows 10, but the Game Pass is only for Xbox One. So I can't get game.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I can't get the Game Pass and play it on PC with my Game Pass subscription. I only play my Game Pass games on an Xbox One, so which I do not have. So I was kind of sad because theoretically I could say, "Hey, let me get a Game Pass for a month, play this game, see if I like it. If I like it, cancel Game Pass, buy the game."
I don't know about that.
Or keep Game Pass for 6 months, and when I'm done playing the game, then whatever. Who knows? There'll probably be a new game, so then I never cancel it, which is what they're hoping, right? You get in, you subscribe, you play this game. 3 months later, new game. Oh, let me just keep it, play this game, and then you're in.
You guys aren't loyal to your game at all if you're only playing it for 3 months.
I really am just a bad gamer these days. I'll get a game and I'll play for like 2 or 3 weeks or like 2 or 3 days. I'm on to the next thing, or it's very hard to really get deep into a game these days. I just get so distracted. And then, my Steam library is literally like 400 some games. It's just
400. What?
Now I'll say probably 200 are like quality games. The other half are like random stuff from bundles that I got.
You're never gonna play 200 games.
I know. I'm a humble bundle addict. I have an actual problem. Like I'll see it's $12, 10 games, 2 of which I really think I want to play someday. I'm down.
I really think I want to play someday. Like, what kind of commitment is that?
It was $12 for Civilization 6. I want to play that.
Have you played it yet?
I played like 5 minutes, but I'm gonna play it someday. Like a couple months ago, $12. It was like Rise of Tomb Raider plus like 5 other games. I'm like, amazing deal. I played that for about an hour.
Keen, you know, we need an intervention here, buddy. We need an intervention. We're gonna get the rest of the team on, and we're gonna have an intervention. Step away from the credit card.
If you guys see me post something in Slack about a Humble Bundle, please be like, Christian, do not purchase. There's about a 5-minute window when I post that. So I'm clicking buy.
At least you have like a whole group of people who are just like you. That every time Steam goes on sale, which apparently happens like every season, they go on these massive deals. People just bring out the credit cards and just start buying them.
Yeah, man.
You have backlogs of like 40, 50 games.
We're just gonna have to go to the, call the fire department that he's next to and have them break in to keep him from.
I'm saying, like,
just cut the internet. That's all you gotta do.
I've been resisting this latest bundle for a while. So because they have like a subscription service, like $12 a month, you just get games every month. So this month is $12. You get Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Mafia 3, and God Eater 2 for $12. Plus some other random stuff you don't know about until it opens up at the end of the month. I'm like, $12 for all 3 of those games? That's a steal! How can I not do this?
All right, Javon just texted us.
Because PlayStation Plus gives you games every month, but it's free games, and I'm already playing PlayStation because I need to pay online. The games are just a bonus that I hardly ever play. I haven't touched them yet.
It's the same thing. I'm already playing my PC, so $12 a month, and I get free games.
They're free. They're not discounted. I'm not paying money for it.
But you pay for PlayStation Network, right?
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm getting the games.
Yes, exactly. The thing is, I own these. I can cancel anytime, but I pay my $12. I own them. They're mine. If you cancel PlayStation Network,
cancel anytime. So let's see you cancel.
I know, right? Just cancel for a month, Kristen. That's
I can. I mean, I skipped months. I skipped last month because there's some game I didn't want. I forget what it was.
You're gonna be just like what's that character? It's like, you got any of that? Is a subscription game?
Any of them bundles? I need that good bundle.
Javon just pinged us and he said, "Hey, look, he spent $30 on a Humble Bundle that was worth over $1,000 worth of quality software."
I'm saying.
Well, wait. I mean, my question is, what is quality?
They had this Magic Sound of Music bundle, which is like all this audio editing software, right? That's what he got. It's got like Video Sound Cleaning Lab, Music Studio, Acid Pro, SoundForge Pro, all this cool stuff in there. So that's what he got. What?
I know SoundForge. I don't know Acid.
Yeah. So it's got SoundForge Pro on there, version 11, Samplitude Pro, X2 Silver, a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, I mean these bundles, they have like ebook bundles, all kind of stuff. This isn't a commercial for them. It's just a problem that I personally happen to have.
It's not a sponsor yet, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Not a sponsor.
We're gonna get that affiliate link soon, y'all. So
I know they have Humble Bundle, for like Android apps and stuff like that, because I think I bought one time.
They do, yeah. I get those too. It's a problem.
One time,
literally. So confession time. So part of the reason I got an Android phone is that they don't have Humble Bundles for iOS games, only Android games. So I was like, well, Pixel, I can get my Humble Bundle. That's how I got Oxen free, y'all. And Don't Starve for my phone. Do I play them? No, but I will when I get time.
Oh,
that's
insane.
That's sad.
Well, I think we've discussed my addiction long enough. Guys, I didn't think we'd have enough to talk about for an hour, but we did it somehow.
Oh, we always do.
We always find a way. We find a way to talk, express our opinions, and get it out. It's been fun, y'all. It's been a good time. Let's wrap it up.
Here they come.
They call me home. All right, so Ken, let us know what's new with the website these days. Anything we should look out for or upcoming? I know I've got some articles that I haven't sent to you yet that are.
We got once a month that you said.
I know. So I got to do like 5 in a row, like this weekend, so I catch up.
we're pushing content out. We might be implementing subtle ads. So if you start seeing ads, don't be too afraid. They should be subtle. But we are pushing content. That's what we're trying to get out there now. It's kind of shaky right now. We were on a good roll. We kind of missed a couple of days. We're back on a good roll. So, don't worry. We are pushing content out there. That's our main thing. So just keep an eye out.
Cool. All right. So, Garnie, when you're not doing chill tech stuff, I know you have a separate channel and you're doing some health stuff. So what are you up to on online these days?
Well, you know what? A lot of it's really just focusing on, well, besides this personal stuff that's happening here at the house, the fun part is you can find me on Twitter. You could find me on YouTube. You can find me on Google Plus and Facebook at Garnie Bowling. And, the fun part is I'm part of this team. So it's exciting, guys. I mean, like Keyan said, there's great stuff going on the website. Our team's growing. We're getting out there. We're having a lot of conversations. I'm excited. It's like a new vibe for CTS. So look for me to start popping some more videos out there.
Awesome. All right, Keyan, how about you? Where can we find you online?
You can find me at Chaos. I didn't put my nice little third-party banner right there, but it's KHAOSZR. Find me anywhere on the internet pretty much by going there. Mainly Instagram and Twitter if you really want to talk to me. Do those two things. Alex, I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video, but I do have an S9 Plus. I only really got it for the camera stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of camera things with that versus the Pixel and Instagram and stuff. So definitely make sure you follow me on Instagram because that's where pictures will be posted, and I will be ranting on Twitter. If you want to know about the S9 Plus from a Pixel XL2 user. Yeah.
Sweet. And for me, I am the old man that I really kind of abandoned social media. I used to be on Google Plus and Twitter and Facebook. Now I kind of glance every couple of days. So really, if you want to contact me, just hit up ChillTech at any of our locations at ChillTech Studio, whether that's Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Hit us up. If you happen to be on Battle.net, which is where I do some gaming, a lot of Hearthstone sometimes. I'm Quicksilver $12.99. So hit me up there. I think we're going to try to hit up some Fortnite Battle Royale pretty soon. So keep a lookout for that. We may put out an all call on Twitter to gather some troops and head in there. I've not played yet, but Javon keeps begging us to play. So we may be on there soon. So keep a lookout. That'll be coming. But beyond that, just keep a lookout for more videos, more written articles coming up soon, and our deals of the day. And I guess we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. All right. Take care. Have a good one. Later.
Peace.